What's going on, guys? Welcome to the House of Animal. We have this mansion filled with animal athletes, and we've all come together to judge the Animal Strength Challenge, where we're going to be giving away $30,000 in cash prizes. But in addition to that, we're also going to be training together, and we've got a whole series of events that we're going to be doing.
My name's John Hack. I am a powerlifter and strongman. Claim to fame, I guess, is being the world record holder for the 90 kilo class and 100 kilo class.
My name is Monica Granda, and I won Florida USPA for my age and weight class.
Holy cow.
Definitely a lot bigger than I thought it was gonna be.
Was not expecting how big the house was. I was expecting like out in the country or something like that when I figured that we need a house as big as to fit all the people. I mean, we have a lot of large individuals on the team.
Yeah, just walking in, just being like, this is like, I felt like I was part of something really huge, and I was like really honored to be a part of it. It was like a lot to take in.
These are sick.
Those are mine. This is me.
Weird.
They really got me screaming. They really, like, you know. That's pretty cool. You know?
That was a good pick.
That's a good picture right there.
This is an animal candle.
Oh, is this a new flavor? Let me see. What is this? Iron Will. Wow, that's supposed to be. I mean, it has the ingredients. I like that we were like the first ones. The first ones, the most awkward people on the team were the first ones. It's like, it's just funny. Yeah, we pulled up, and when I first saw the house, I was like, dang, this is the presidential house, dude. Oh,
That's cool.
That's a good band.
That's sweet.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize it was like us on the animal. That's cool.
Ooh. And you also got a blender.
I'm really excited about that.
Does this work? This is mine. And they got a canopy. I have a canopy bed, just so you know. Hey, there's me. Me screaming. Ooh. That's cool. I love my room, by the way. Super cool, super comfy, very spacious. Everything's super spacious, huge.
I want to go up. There's like that little cubby hole to get up to the attic. I want to check that out at some point. What was that? I think I heard something. That's all I know. So we got there first, and then I believe it was Tyson and Nadia showed up next. I was like, oh, we should like hide in one of the closets and just like, ah.
My name is Tyson Ridenauer. I am a competitive powerlifter. I have more than 1,000 pounds in the gym, and I've done that probably dozens of times at this point.
Hi, my name is Nadia Stowers, and currently professional strongwoman 2 times in 2 different weight classes. I'm very proud to be also 2 times America's Strongest Woman, 2 times World's Strongest Woman, and I hold 9 world records to my name, so it's been an amazing career. First arriving to the animal house, it is an absolute mansion. It gave me southern USA feels, where I expected there would be like peach trees next to the doors, or like orange trees or bushes, things like that. It was Monica and John Hack that greeted us. I think they were the only 2 athletes in the house at the time, and they were wonderful enough to give us a tour, showing us the kitchen and going through everything. I still don't think we saw the entire house because it's still so much to explore, but it's an absolutely amazing building. It is one of the biggest homes I've ever been in. My room personally is like a hotel room within a house, so that's kind of fun. That is pretty cool.
Oh yeah, you guys get some.
How many people can say that's ever happened to them? Like, really. Especially as a strong woman, being one of the first ones, that's that's history for me. That's incredible. It's a little surreal feeling because when you go back home, you just feel like you're just like your little you doing your everyday stuff, but you don't realize in the grand scheme of what you've accomplished. So seeing those reminders is like, you've done some good shit. So that's pretty incredible to me. That's amazing. That's cool. Bro, that's fucking sick. That's how I was saying in the room. Like, that's a surreal feeling. That's insane.
That's
So cool, bro.
Kale's are pretty chill.
I didn't expect this. I'm glad they didn't say much about it, to be honest with you, because then we would kind of know what we're walking into. But I mean, I had no idea. I didn't.
They really take the time to make each athlete individually feel special,
Yes.
which is very hard to do.
Yes,
Especially
it
with
is.
a big group. So
Yeah.
that's
It was-
much appreciated.
Yeah, absolutely.
My name is Evan Santapani. I come from Trumbull, Connecticut. I've been an IFBB professional bodybuilder for, too long. I turned pro in 2007. I'm a 3-time IFBB champion. I've placed top 10 at the Mr. Olympia, and I've placed within the top 3 at the Arnold Classic multiple times. Wow.
This is just the first floor.
Jeez.
Welcome to the animal house.
Look at
Literally
how
an animal
nicely
house.
decorated
I
it
know.
is, huh?
know, it's so much detail, right?
It's like everywhere too.
I called dibs on this when we're...
I called it already.
You did?
Yeah.
I'm sure I could make you guys another one.
So
Print
cool.
it up.
It's pretty wild. I mean, it's like a 3-floor, I don't know how many square feet this thing is. 10,000 square feet, 12,000 square feet.
Yeah, so here's the kitchen. Very spacious.
You know, there's
You got
supplements
enough room in
everywhere.
that refrigerator?
5 million drawers in
Yeah.
one switch, so.
Got some new flavors of Primal.
That's cool for me. Aminos.
This is wild. This was full when you guys got here?
Maybe.
I hope not. It's a lot of pre-workouts.
I don't think so.
You want to see your room?
Yeah, I do want to see my house. Everybody was excited. Like, everybody was excited to show me the house. Hey, look at this. Hey, look at that.
You get the bear room.
Excellent.
Yeah, you got the bear.
I want you to name every one of these bears before you leave.
And then like everybody has some swag on the bed, which I thought was pretty good.
Yeah, you got some swag.
Oh yeah.
Oh, look at that. Oh, that's awesome. It's been a long time since we've done one of these.
More candles.
I'm going to light all of them.
Yeah, you definitely have the bear.
Wow.
One of them
This like
tracksuit too.
this like made my day though. This is
Yeah.
awesome.
That's the coolest part.
So when I walked in here last night and I've got my whole supplement regimen lined up for me and a custom t-shirt, you know, with my image on it and just all these things that were at the end of the day just really thoughtful. Yeah, I mean that feels really nice. Oh, this is awesome. I'm not any good at pool, but I love playing it.
Check out the cube.
I don't think any of us know how to play, so it's
Look
alright.
at that.
I didn't even notice the cue ball. Or is that a cue
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're definitely gonna play pool, right?
I would love
Let's say we all just could goof around in here because I don't know what I'm doing.
This is
So
awesome.
they have the old school game system. That was pretty cool.
I don't know, this is like beyond cool. To have everybody in one place, under one roof, I think if there's one thing I expect to come out of this experience is that it's probably just gonna bring everybody closer together. And I think we all already feel a sense of camaraderie. I think Animal's been very selective over the years in terms of who they bring on and who they make a part of their brand. And I think when you get together a group of people like that, yeah, there's gonna be a whole lot of bonding. And so I think it's just gonna kind of strengthen the unity that the team feels. And even amongst staff, you know, we haven't all ever been together over the course of several days. So I think it's just gonna be good for everybody. So as of this morning, you know, Dan was here at about 5:45 a.m. He slept for like the next 6 hours. And then just shy of noon, John and Renee rolled up.
Making me look stupid.
My name is Renee Jewett, and I am an IFBB pro. I am a pro show winner, which let me compete at the Grand Olympia.
All right. Name is John Jewett, IFBB pro. Been done the Olympia 4 times, 3 times as 212. Been top 4 within that. Just did my first Open Olympia as well. Did 11th place there. A long time ago, I did some powerlifting, set some world records as well. So that's my accomplishments.
What's up? How's it going?
Must be our welcoming committee.
Hey,
Hello. How are you?
Oh, solid. It's an easy straight shot, so non-stop flight.
Hello.
John, nice to meet you.
Hello.
How's it going?
Good. So John and I were the last ones to arrive to the animal house. So by the time we got here, everybody was kind of like settled in, which was kind of nice because we got a nice big greeting from everyone. But driving up to the house, it was just like, what it reminded me of was the Home Alone house. Just this like big white grand like mansion that we got to stay in for the weekend. It was really cool.
This is the first time to actually in 8 years have an athlete animal meetup. And it's been a tremendous experience so far. The house was over the top in the best way possible. Take your breath away moments where you see, your posters on the wall, or even the thoughtfulness of gifts that the staff wanted to showcase us with, throughout the house. So just very appreciative of all the effort that everyone did put in an animal. It just shows you that's a brand that really cares about the people that are involved and people that are gonna keep you around and always have your best interests in mind. More than anything, I'm just excited to see my friends. Dan and I, we've been part of Animal. Dan's been here over 10 years at this point. But John, I think, just over 8 maybe. So these are guys, we've done the Arnold together, we've been to Germany together, we've been all over the place. So for me, it was just me looking forward to seeing my friends, but then also knowing that we're gonna be judging this contest tonight, I'm gonna be leaning on these guys and I wanna hear their opinions. So it was like, okay, now we're ready to do this. So the house is now officially packed. This is Juliet's room.
Video games.
Cool. We'll look at all our supplements.
I was told we get our own rooms,
Separate
not a
ones.
together room.
I was hoping for bunks. Oh, cool.
Oh.
Wow.
Oh, what are these?
Very
A
cool.
Ninja Blast Mix. Awesome. Oh, look
This is
at this.
awesome.
Oh, there's shots in there. That's awesome. Oh, very
See
cool. Oh, that's cool.
I thought that was the
love
best
it.
part.
Yeah. Thank you, Animal. This is awesome.
Very cool.
That's really nice that they did that.
My name is Dan Green. I've been with Animal since 2012, and I have been powerlifting since 2007. Probably competed in about 25 to 30 competitions. I've set 10 all-time world records in 2 different weight categories. I've also coached a lot of people who are top lifters and world record-setting lifters as well. When I was first exposed to Animal, it was 2009. I was familiar with the brand as like a supplement, but not so much as far as their involvement with athletes. I think the products are great, but also the involvement with like the actual sports is like really legit.
John and I made our way over to the gym, and yeah, just a quick workout. Not every workout, I think people sometimes lose sight of this, not every workout is gonna be a record-setting one, and if you do try to have that be the case, you're probably gonna end up going backwards. You kind of have to know, when to hold them and when to fold them type of thing. always a good time training with Evan because I've always seen Evan to be the mindful bodybuilder. So he's always been meticulous in his process. So we always have good conversation, even training on learning from each other.
If you had a guy trying to bring up arms, like what would be your main tip for him? Does he need an arm day?
I think usually it's a matter of you either doing arms too much or too little. You got to figure out which one it is. I think a lot of times people will get really tremendous arm growth from training back the way they should be training back. And a lot of people don't train back the way they should be training back.
No, I agree. Like I think starting out at the beginning, like if you have your major compound lifts and that's giving you enough growth, that's plenty, because a whole arm day is going to take a whole nother day away from training legs and training back more frequently, which that's the fast track to getting as big as possible.
Right.
I think once you're more advanced, if your arms are still lagging, then you could justify the arm day coming in.
Chest, back, and legs, right? You do those three body parts to the best of your ability, you're going to hit arms and shoulders anyways.
Yeah.
Then do you need to hit them directly? Maybe, maybe not.
What about, so I think it also comes down to like picking the right exercises. A lot of guys are just doing crappy exercises, and that might be why they're getting their growth.
Right.
What you had two of your top bicep exercises. Which ones would you pick?
I mean, for me, dude, dumbbell curls and barbell curls.
Yeah.
I mean, just free weight, basic movements. I think the thing that you should avoid like the plague, well, you know what, I'm gonna ask you, what are the two worst movements?
I would say the worst movement you could pick would be one where you can naturally move through. So I tell guys like, hey, do a curl without any load. How do you naturally move? It's like, well, find the machine that fits that rather than force yourself to a machine. And that's when you get loading, your elbows get beat up, wrists get beat up. So I'd say like, yeah, fitting yourself to the right machine, or free weights, because it gives you a lot of freedom of movement.
What I think is the dumbest, most mullet exercise of all time for biceps, when guys put the thing on here on a cable and do these, I think those just suck. I think they're just useless. You have no like leverage. You can't contract the
Not
muscle.
stable. It's also, you only get load at least a little in the short position. That's it.
That's it. It sounds good in
I
theory.
know.
It's like, well, I'm going to be making. It's like I'm making a bicep. Let me
I'm training
do that
my
movement.
front double.
It just
Yeah.
doesn't work like that. So.
For triceps, I think one of the worst ones can be a skull crusher, just because it can really beat up your elbows. However, getting overhead and training the triceps is great. I'd say if you're beating up your elbow skull crusher, move to like a single arm cable or single arm dumbbell. That way you have a lot more freedom.
Yeah.
To
I
do
think
the
if you
movement.
have good shoulder mobility and you're properly warmed up, skull crusher, at least for me, I built my triceps.
Oh, no, it can
with
be a
skull
killer
crushers.
exercise.
Could be the best. But I have found as time goes on, my elbows will kill me when I'm not back into the proper position, and usually that's more linked to my
Start
shoulder.
flaring your elbows out, and then
Yeah, and that has more to do with my shoulders than it does my
Right on.
triceps.
yeah.
If everything's functioning as it should, skull crushers could be one of those bread and butter movements.
Did you need an arm day coming up, or were you?
I don't know if I probably didn't need one because my arms just always grew, but I just always did. But it was from pretty early on. I started breaking things up. You know, in the beginning, I would combine multiple muscle groups, and then as I realized, well, I want to do, you know, more extensive workouts, different exercises. I'm like, I can't fit all this into one day. So pretty early on, you know, things started getting broken up. But I did go through a period where, like, once I started really training chest, back, and legs really well, I didn't really need to have their own day. Part of it maybe being because my arms were pretty good, but also because I think I was doing everything else really well.
Okay.
How about you? Do you have your own arm day at this point?
It's been super rare. They come in every now and then, but usually I've always done something like upper, lower, or like a push-pull legs. With my kind of the powerlifting background, I like that, but that was enough to keep them moving forward progress-wise. But my things, I needed chest and back, not arms grew easy.
Most guys do, though. Most guys, I think, would be well-served if they focus on chest, back, legs. You know, master those.
I see the guys with weak backs and they have big arms. I think a lot of times they're doing their back movements wrong and pulling with their arms a lot. So I think fixing your back training, if you have big arms and the other body parts are lagging, did a lot for me. So just doing the right cueing, I think, comes down to it a lot. So even if you do have weak arms, what you could do is like, hey, make sure your pressing movements are more tricep focused, or even in your where you're doing your bicep work for your back days. I've done bicep work on the front of legs before because it's not taxing. You get good stimulus for biceps, then go smash legs. Doesn't take away from them. So there's lots of ways to put up split design. A lot of guys are like, John, what should I do for my training split? That's almost not the way to look at it.
Yeah.
It's like where you should be prioritizing your volume
What do you need?
and your body part needs, right? So I think we can get a little bit more complex than copying Evan Sinapati's split.
How much is it really going to help you?
Yeah.
Probably not. Maybe you get lucky, but probably not.
Post-workout, have something easy to digest, and in prep, I would be doing like a little bit of oats, but a lot of rice. And then I also have some dried fruit, some raisins in here, and I like getting like some fruit in, trying it with every meal, but these just digest really easy because they're low fiber. And then I have just some Animal Way. Frosted cinnamon bun is the one that I like. So I mix all that up and eat it together. So digest easy, get my system quick, bring blood sugar back up. So
when John says he likes a little bit of oats, do not listen to him. We have like a whole wheelbarrow filled with oats that are just for John. Hold on, I'm gonna get the bag just so you guys can see this. Hold on. I might bring my bag if I carry it. This will be gone by tonight.
That's meals for the day. So you have chicken and salmon. So why the mix? Is that just a preference, or is there actual purpose to it?
Well, you might think I'm just being fancy and I just like surf and turf, but you have to combine the salmon and the chicken to get the perfect amino acid profile. No, I'm just kidding. There are these pre-made meals, which I never ever eat, but there's some in the house. And one was like a chipotle salmon, which honestly is really delicious. So on an average day, dude, I don't know if you're the same way. I eat the same thing day after day after day. And like I eat really, really bland and really plain. Probably like my most exciting meal of the day is breakfast, which is 6 whole eggs and like a Portuguese roll. It was some ketchup, so it's pretty spicy. And after that, every meal is like 8 ounces of chicken, a cup of boiled broccoli and cauliflower, and like I'll have maybe an apple with it or something. So I actually have that here. I brought some chicken and broccoli and cauliflower, but now putting the salmon and rice on top of it, it's like, this is amazing. John is gonna freak out and probably get violent if we don't just let him eat, so we're gonna have to talk to you guys in a little bit. Things can be impressive in a number of different ways. And I'm really looking forward to hearing everybody else's opinion, especially like I'm not a power lifter, and I understand this isn't strictly a powerlifting competition, but I want to hear the input of John Hack and Dan Green and Nadia and all these people who are really submerged in the powerlifting world. So I'm just excited, really, just to see what the submissions are, and just want to do as good of a job judging as possible. As somebody whose career, my whole career I was judged as a bodybuilder. Hey everyone, I'm Evan Centopani. I'd like to welcome you to the Animal Strength Challenge and introduce you to the official judging panel. We're here to evaluate the most impressive lifts that have been sent to us throughout the month of October. Athletes from all over the country have pushed themselves to the absolute limit in an attempt to win over $10,000 in cash and prizes in the bench, squat, and the deadlift. The 3 official categories that we're going to be judging are the male strongest lift, female strongest lift, and best creative lift. Without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to the judging panel. First up, I'd like to introduce to you Renee Jewett. She's an IFBB pro, she's a wellness Olympian, she's a Tampa Pro winner. Next up is Monica Granda. She's a competitive powerlifter and a 2-time USPA winner. Nadia Stowers, she's a 2-time America's Strongest Woman, 2-time World's Strongest Woman, 2-time Professional Strongwoman, and 9-time World Record holder. John Hack. He's the #1 ranked male powerlifter the world over, 90 kilogram and 100 kilogram world record holder. He mains as Bowser from Mario Kart, and he's a 2016 IPF world champion. John Jewett. He's an IFBB pro bodybuilder. He's a 4-time Olympian. He's been top 5 in the 212 Olympia, and he's the winner of the Vancouver Pro. Next, we've got Dan the Boss Green. He's a professional powerlifter. He's a 10-time world record setter in 2 different classes. He's deadlifted 900 pounds in the animal cage, and he's the Powerlifting Watch Lifter of the Year in 2012 and 2013. Next, we have Tyson Ridenauer. He's a competitive powerlifter. He has a 1,000-pound deadlift in the gym and over 900 pounds in competition. And finally, with us from the animal team, we've got Rudy, Stephanie, and Gary. I'd also like to introduce to you my co-host, Eric Schwartz.
I'm honored to be Evan's bro host. And let me just give you some of Evan's accomplishments. Evan has been top 10 at the Mr. Olympia, 3-time IFBB champion, 3-time multiple top 3 finishes at the Arnold Classic. That's my bro, Evan. All right, so let me just go over the judging criteria with you guys for today. For the strongest male and strongest female categories, you will be looking at form and technique, as well as the weight lifted relative to their body weight. For the creative lift category, you'll be looking at weight lifted relative to body weight, entertainment factor, and originality and creativity. The percentages represent the weight of each criterion in determining your final score. If you're ready, without further ado, we're gonna do male strongest lift. Okay, first up, Lamont McClough. He's 280 pounds, is a 505-pound bench press, which is a PR for him. Lamont lives by the code of being a doer, D-O-E-R. He says in life, if you want to be successful at anything you're passionate about, you must be a doer. Doer means you must be dedicated, obsessed, excited, and real about whatever it is you're trying to succeed in.
I mean, yeah, he's not even arching or anything.
First of all, he's on a commercial bench. That's
I was gonna
impressive
say,
on its own.
Yeah, like that bar's probably super slippery and he's still hanging on to it. And
John Hack, would that pass in a powerlifting competition?
It would. On that kind of bench, I'm totally expecting like butt coming off 2 feet, especially at that kind of weight. I've seen those videos all over. I'm kind of torn about the form because it is totally flat and it's not very technical lift. Yeah. But that almost adds more impressiveness to the 505.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. Put your scores down. Next up is Donovan Bennett. He's 270 pounds. This is a 771-pound squat. He had an insane comeback. Donovan tore his hamstring in January during police academy training and managed to stay and push through it. He then tore his Achilles in July and needed surgery, but he never stopped going to the gym. He pushed through, and as of October 6th, we are back at work.
You know how afraid he probably was, and then to like go back and like do it, that's pretty
he tore his Achilles in July.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Achilles tendon is no joke.
Yeah. That recovery time is pretty quick, especially if he actually had a surgery there.
For an Achilles?
Yeah.
That takes forever.
All right, next up, Ben Aschenbrenner. He's from Iowa. 330 pounds, big boy. 615-pound bench we're going to see. Ben is a father of 3 and has been a police officer for 4 years, making chief in his first year. He plans to be one of the strongest powerlifters to have ever lived.
That's a big bench.
I think the weight's extremely impressive. And it's a tall guy with pretty long arms, so like that's a strong dude.
A 615 raw bench is no joke.
Yeah, it's not like the longest pause, but there's like just a little hair.
Respectable though.
Yeah, 615 is very impressive. Doing 500 in a, not the greatest setting is still really good.
Yeah,
but 615 is it's a lot more weight.
Yeah, once you get above 600, it's like I don't care how much you weigh.
All right, our next lifter is Hagen Henderson, 24 years old, 320-pound body weight. He's going to do an 855-pound squat, beltless and sleeveless. Hagen recently competed in the ABS series Reach Rumble and is the father of 2 beautiful boys. In his words, he is just a normal guy who enjoys lifting heavy weights. He's ranked 6th for the world's strongest raw squat and the lightest person in the top 9 for top raw squats in the world.
That speaks for itself right now, man. And he's 24.
That's amazing. And beltless and sleeveless.
No belt, no
How
sleeve.
deep
Wrong.
and fast this is.
We have Ian Schmidt, 23 years old, 220-pound body weight with a 680-pound deadlift. Ian is a drug-free powerlifter who has competed in a few competitions for fun. He also competes in arm wrestling and is ranked top 10 nationally for the left arm.
Oh.
I mean, not a hitch, smooth.
No, it was solid. I'll give it to him.
Kind of yanks it off the ground a little bit. I think he could come a little smoother off the floor.
So yeah, he's not pulling the slack out.
Yeah.
Right?
No.
I mean, he handles that weight fine.
This is exactly what my deadlifts look like, so he's built exactly like I am. So I'm not necessarily a yanker, but my arms are very long compared to where my body sits. I'm just like, if that's how you're born, that's how you're born.
What you got?
So you were impressed with his lift?
Yeah, very.
Next up, Craig Forster, 365 pounds. We're gonna see an 881-pound squat. He always wanted to be strong, nothing better than being strong.
That was nice.
Move that weight like nothing.
And it looks really
He's a 1,000-pound
smooth too.
squatter.
I feel like he could have done more.
Next up, Angelo Augustine. We don't know a lot about him, but he's 242 pounds, and he's gonna do a 749-pound deadlift.
I don't know. Whenever your knees start shaking like that, there's a...
My legs shake like that, and I like to think I'm decent.
You know what? Fair point.
Next up, Liam Zuffaletti. He's got a 556-pound raw deadlift. Liam started working out to gain power for baseball, which led him to CrossFit, Spartan races, and eventually powerlifting. The lift here brought him from 7th to bronze at this meet, pulling almost 4 times his body weight. I mean, 556 at 156 pounds.
That's impressive.
Probably like the most impressive so far.
I think it's impressive for his weight, and just looking at the form and stuff, we could fix a couple of technical things, but honestly, I don't really have much to say about it.
What would you change technically?
Just when it comes off of the floor, it looks like he comes forward a little bit and then he adjusts, or there's a slight turn in his body, but that's really all I noticed, so that's easy fixes.
To do it in front of all the judging or audience or whatever, like that's pretty high pressure versus being in your comfortable environment. So
And I
it
guess
actually
is
adds a level of difficulty to it too.
All right, we're gonna move on. Mason Reinard, he's 212 pounds, and he's gonna do a 725-pound deadlift.
I think from a technique standpoint, I think his grip is just so close that kind of handcuffs you with the shoulders in a little bit. It makes it hard to kind of pull the lockout through once you're above the knees. I mean, it gives you an advantage as far as getting more flex with the bar, and he's got a ton of bumper plates, so you can see he's got great speed. So I think that's where that narrow grip, especially with the narrow hook grip, the bumper plates, you get a lot of flex on the bar. So he gets a lot of speed off the floor, but then it does kind of handcuff you with the narrow grip, so your lockout's gonna be constrained. So yeah, you can see he has to kind of like wedge through because it's hard to pull the shoulders back. You can't really get your lats involved when you have such a narrow grip.
All right, last lift of this round of the male lifters, Blake LeHue. He's 194 pounds. He's gonna do an 870-pound deadlift. Blake has dedicated the past 15 years of his life to powerlifting and aspires to be recognized as one, if not the best to ever do it. Blake owns a gym and is the state chair for powerlifting, United Texas.
Sumo is just very hard for me because I don't think it's cheating. I just feel like it needs to be its own separate category because just the bar range of motion are so drastically different. It's so hard for me to compare the two. So yeah, I'm stuck on this one.
Hip mobility is great. I know you're not lifting the weight, you know, like a traditional like deadlift. It is sumo, so the weight from the floor to the actual like end position is shorter, but just having that mobility in the hips and lifting 870 at that body weight is really impressive.
Yeah, it's actually really impressive, like start position for sure. It's got very flexible hips. And
Yeah, to get in that position.
Technique-wise, it looks great.
Unless you have really good hip mobility, it's hard to not only get in that position, but then lift that much weight in that position is very vulnerable, especially for your groin area and just anywhere in there. It's really easy to tear. That's why I think technically it's a lot more difficult, especially if you're at the higher end of lifters.
That concludes Male Strongest Lift. Give us a few minutes, we're gonna tally up the scores, and then we're gonna move into Female Strongest Lift for another $10,000 prize. First up, we have Shireen Marcel. She's 198 pounds. She's gonna squat 580 pounds. Shireen is a coach and an athlete attempting to raise money and awareness to continue to give back to her community. She also lifted at the cage this year.
Incredible weight, honestly, especially how smooth the bar path was. Because when people's hips come up and the chest dumps, that's where it kind of loses me a little bit, but hers really didn't do that motion, so she's got a lot of points there.
What was that?
I like the slap on it.
He's just excited.
And it was fast. I mean, the speed was really good.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like she definitely has like 600 in her.
Okay, everybody got their scores in?
I didn't even write.
All right, we're gonna move on to Samantha Rice. She's 190 pounds. She's gonna do a 573 pound deadlift. Samantha is a former collegiate soccer player, turned full-time mom and pro powerlifter.
Her quads definitely look like she played soccer. For sure.
She doesn't like drop her hips and pop into it, you know, and jerk it. So I think maybe for her, like getting in the right bar position is like extremely important. But man, that just makes it technically really challenging. You're almost like starting from a true dead stop, right?
I can't be critical.
Can you deadlift 573?
Not at the moment. I cannot. I can't even put my socks on at the moment.
Okay, we're gonna move on. Chelsea Hamilton, 126 pound body weight, 355 pound deadlift. Chelsea is just returning to the barbell after not having deadlifted all year. She's coming for PRs.
I mean, for being 126 pounds and pulling 355, I think that's really impressive.
Yeah, I think a lot of the like adjusting the feet probably comes from the fact that she hasn't touched a barbell all year. I think she is a competitive, bikini competitor.
Oh, wow.
I think she just came off a
That's
competition.
impressive.
You know, whether you're judging her form or her strength relative to her body weight, she's maybe not exactly where the other girls are, but the fact that she's a bikini competitor and this is not her gig, and she's like, oh, maybe I'll go do a triple body weight deadlift. That's pretty wild. So super impressive.
Her right foot is a little panned out. I call it duck-footed, where her left foot's a little more straight. And I feel like that's what's kind of pushing her bar forward because of that left foot. And so I would just help her with her bar path, fixing her feet and keeping it closer to her body.
Yeah, she actually adjusts her right foot right as she's lifting the weight.
Yeah, I didn't notice that.
I didn't either. That's a great point. I did not see that. Mackenzie Young, 175 pounds body weight, and we're going to see a 193 pound bench press.
This range of motion is always going to drive me nuts, to be honest. Just because of my own personal training, we're very narrow all the way down into the chest, all the way back up. So with a high arch and a wide hand stance, it really takes it away from you that way.
Yeah, as far as like if you want to just purely lift the most weight, this is a good way to do it. If you want to impress, then you have to ask, like, I wonder what they could do if they did it in a way that kind of is more relatable.
I am happy to see a bench press on this list.
I was going to say, I'm impressed that she submitted a bench press because generally for females, it's not their strongest lift, it's their weakest lift.
Exactly.
Next up, Brianni Terry, 189 pound body weight. We're going to see a 622 pound deadlift. Brianni is passionate about inspiring people, especially women, to experience the power of putting a barbell in your hands. Brianni says it's not just about the weight on the bar, but the perseverance to keep pushing. She is the best deadlifter in the world and is driven to defend that title. I mean,
Pretty damn perfect.
pretty amazing.
It's pretty, yeah.
Yeah.
Like would you guys consider that a textbook deadlift?
Just looks like a really strong, solid lift all around.
622 pounds.
It's really impressive.
Is wild.
622 solid ass pounds.
Yeah. It is. Yeah. Sydney Alston, 208 pound body weight, and we're going to see a 245 pound bench press. Another bench.
I mean, the weight's definitely impressive. I think for me, it's just like with any bench, I think touching your chest is what's going to elevate that impressiveness.
This person, not only is the weight higher and the body weight is higher, but this person altogether is a stronger human being than the other woman that was benching, because this is just being brutally strong. Yeah, she did touch on her chest, but that's a brutally strong person right there.
Yeah, and also when you touch on your chest, I'm pretty sure there's some sort of like stretch reflex deal to where you can like trampoline effect it, get it back up. But before you touch your chest, you're kind of like dead stop, and then you have to, I don't know.
Sometimes
like,
that's harder. It's
She's got to do like the Spoto press.
Yeah.
The upper inch, which is definitely its own challenge.
Jen Hazard, she's 133 pounds. We're going to see a 520 pound deadlift. Jen started lifting to be stronger physically and emotionally, and it worked. She loves showing her son and her students that when you want something, hard work can get it. Even if you have other things going on. If you want it badly enough, you can. She works multiple jobs and still gets in the gym.
I mean, holy crap.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
conventional, the whole thing.
133 pounds.
Look at this.
That's strong.
Look at these guys in the background. These guys are like, holy shit.
I like the slam too. I appreciate that for gym lifts. You should slam the weight down.
Yeah. I own this place.
My favorite is that she didn't hitch, because hitching is a pet peeve. The bar path was very smooth, and she locked it out all the way up to the top. One of my favorite parts of lockouts is the top part of the lockout, which I'm seeing less and less of, so she gets extra points for the shoulders back and pulling the scaps together.
She works 12-hour days and she's putting up these numbers at that body weight.
And a mom.
That's impressive itself. Yeah.
She's a mom.
Imagine being exhausted and just going.
Doing it with that narrow stance is just wicked.
Yeah.
Our next lifter is Elizabeth Pizarro. She's 120 pounds. We're going to see a 281 pound squat, which is a PR for her. Elizabeth started lifting when she was 12 and started competing when she was 14. She was a regional champion for 3 years and Wisconsin state champion in 2023. On top of that, she was offered a spot on Team USA World's team in 2023.
Wow.
Wisconsin represent.
Let's go. She does have a little bit of knee cave. That's probably her trying to get her adductors into a little bit better position, take the quads a little bit up.
Obviously, the bar, one side went up faster than the other. What is that caused by?
She has a very narrow grip, so it might just be kind of balanced to that dish. Otherwise, solid squat.
That's a very good key point.
If you see her out of her bottom position, like her left knee kicks in more and she hip shifts right, which is maybe why some of the imbalance occurs. But probably like if this is like a third attempt and fatigue's there, it could be just exacerbating like some weakness like in the lateral sides of her hips potentially. For some people that hip shift, they lack internal rotation in one of the hips, and they'll shift towards the opposite hip to compensate. So like that left hip, if it lacks internal rotation, she would hip shift right potentially. So something for her would be like to address like what her ranges are in internal and external rotation, see if it's something to address. So she moves to that right hip.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, form aside, she gave everything to that. Like, you can see her soul leaving her body. The effort to me is the most impressive.
Next up, we have Whitney Baxley, 143 pound body weight. We're going to see a 501.5 pound deadlift. Whitney started to lift for fun and found out that she was stronger than she ever realized. Whitney looks forward to each day she can get stronger, physically, mentally, and emotionally.
Oh, she's double.
She goes for a double?
Oh, okay.
She's going for 2. Oh.
No, it should be a single.
No, that was 2.
no.
Yeah, that was 2.
That misses a double.
Wow.
I mean, she just elevated the game.
She looks very tall.
I mean, 2 reps at 500, that's like 1,000 pounds. So.
Yeah.
All right, another point of contention I see on the interwebs is people rounding their back. She starts with a rounder back than most people. What are your thoughts on that?
I think rounding the back is what all good deadlifters really do. I think if you are unable to round your back, that means your back is weak. If your back is strong, it will give, it will stabilize, and then it will still be strong enough to straighten out at the top.
Just in my experience, the rounding of the back says that the lats aren't engaged. And so when we teach our people at the bottom of your deadlift is to twist your triceps, which would automatically lock out the lats, which you won't end up with that round. And just from us doing that, our clients, their numbers shoot up, their form always gets better. But besides that, I'm giving her points for this amazing deadlift per body weight. But she did 2, so I'm discounting one of them because it's unfair to the rest of the people who did only 1. So I'm just going to keep her in the 1 rep
The
category.
double's pretty wild. Like, I did not expect the double.
I love the emotion after that second rep. Like you can tell that lift meant something to her.
All right, our next lifter is Dee Green. She's 201 pound body weight, and we're going to see a 264 and a half pound bench press.
Self unrack is impressive.
Yeah, it is.
Very good pause.
It's super clean.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That was picture perfect.
Yeah, I think one thing that I like about the form, there's sometimes, you can sort of look at it and see people with very wide grips and big arches and sort of automatically assume that that's better. But the advantage of having the kind of the closer grip is when you go to the bottom, you're putting a lot of stretch on the muscle, the chest and triceps and shoulders, the front delts. So that stretch is really building muscle over time. So I think sometimes the disadvantage of the wide grip is it can be great, but it's hard to build, substantial muscle gain over time.
That concludes our female strongest lift. Please pass your ballots down. Give us a few minutes and we're going to tally up the scores. Our final category is creative lift. So we're looking at 3 categories on here. Weight lifted, we're looking at entertainment factor, and originality and creativity. I'm looking forward to this. This should be the most fun. We got some pretty wild lifts going on here. So if you guys are ready, we're gonna start out with our first contestant for another $10,000. Cody York, 225 pound body weight. He's gonna do a 500 pound deadlift 5 different ways. Cody is a high school math teacher who likes doing weird lifts. These are all beltless too. Conventional, sumo.
He did a deficit.
Whoa, behind the back.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Is he gonna do a Jefferson?
There it is.
Yay! Gary was waiting for that one.
All right.
Jefferson deadlift.
That was impressive.
That was good.
That was impressive.
500 pounds at all of them too. It's
No rest, right?
No rest, right into it.
So it's like 5 different reps, 5 different ways.
No belt, no straps.
The one behind the legs made me nervous though.
That's the
What is that one called?
That's a hack squat.
A hack squat.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
It's like the original hack squat.
That's the one that existed before the machine. So.
Oh.
Gary, why is the Jefferson deadlift so impressive?
Because I think it's really weird.
Tyson, what do you think? You're a deadlift specialist.
Well, not like this, okay? I don't think I'd have the mobility to do any of that besides the sumo, maybe conventional. Other than that, I've never tried. What is that one called? That?
Hack squat.
Yeah.
That was a hack squat.
Okay, so never
Named
done
after
that.
John Hack.
It's actually
Little known
Hackett
fact.
Schmidt.
Yeah, I've never done that before.
I mean, the more times I watch it, the more impressive it gets, to be honest.
Our next lifter, Mark Rosenberg. He's 270 pound body weight. We are going to see him do a 205 pound inverted camber bar
Wait,
bench.
you can balance it?
That's
Oh my God.
This is around, man.
Mark,
wow.
That's pretty wild.
Mark frequently does insane lifts and found that the butt on the bench rule actually limited him from his usual style. In his words, I rarely bench on an actual bench. His workaround? This inverted camber bar bench.
That's
It looks like a circus trick. I don't even know how you do that.
Yeah.
Dude,
That's so impressive.
if that thing flipped down,
Well, that's what makes it so hard, right? 'Cause
I know.
if that thing went,
Dude, you're dying, aren't you? Like, if that just flips down, you're
Well,
just...
not really, because the plates are on the
Kind of
outside.
entertaining.
so-
It's pretty
That balance is really impressive.
he would never be able to catch
Yeah,
his
but it's
hands
also
like that.
it's also only 200 pounds. You're not going to get
Yeah.
you're not going to get ended by 200 pounds
yeah.
there.
Nadia, would you ever attempt that?
I wouldn't let anyone ever.
We're going to move on. Tamara McKelwey. She's 134 pounds body weight. She's going to squat, bar weight 225, cambered attachment 30 pounds, chains 40 pounds against 30 pounds of tension. Tamara is 57 years old that wanted to start building muscle. She's always loved strength sports, but was always intimidated. Regardless of that fear and inspired by her husband, she has won nationals and the Olympia in powerlifting and placed second at nationals in NPC physique. We got another dual competitor here.
I mean, if she didn't do this on Halloween, I'll be disappointed.
Wait, what kind of bar is that?
So a straight bar with the camber attachments.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a regular squat bar. It's a 225 pound squat bar, but she has cambered attachments.
I like the balloon.
30 pounds plus 40 pounds of chains against 30 pounds.
I want to know what she's saying.
The whole it thing.
So she's got the band tension, she's got the chains. We're gonna move on to Alexander Pinto. He's 280 pound body weight. This is a floating bench press. I don't know what that means. In his words, Alexander is just a Florida boy trying to be strong as F.
Wow.
I don't even know. I don't know what I'm looking at.
I'm trying to look
He's
at
benching the
Yeah.
bench.
He's an engineer.
I don't know exactly what's happening.
What's going on?
Wait, I feel like there's just counterweights going everywhere.
Oh, okay. I see.
I don't know what I'm looking at.
Is there a band
I don't know what I'm,
underneath?
I don't know what I'm looking at either.
I'm not sure what I just.
I think he's doing like a pulley system kind of thing.
I can't tell.
The bench is literally floating in the air.
But I can't tell what he's actually lifting.
How do you
It's the
build
thing
that, though?
underneath, right?
So he's got a strap that's holding him.
This guy's got to win.
It looks like he's lifting himself and the bench.
I think this guy needs to be an engineer.
Yeah.
It might be.
I feel like this guy should
the
have
bench is
filmed a little
actually
bit longer.
suspended from the bar.
Yeah.
And
guy should have filmed a
he's
little
suspended by
Or a
a
different
strap.
angle.
Yeah.
So he's benching the bench.
Oh.
He's held up by the bar.
Yes,
the rope.
yes, yes.
No, he's held up by a
That's
strap
pretty
underneath his
crazy.
back.
That's kind
Yeah,
of
it's
It's right under his armpits.
That's pretty good.
Okay.
I like that.
Our next lifter, Grant Higa, 305 pound body weight. He's going to do a 285 pound field stone squat, a 573.2 pound deadlift, up 4 18-inch tall power stairs. Higa will be 54 years old this December. In his words, he wanted to do this to show that old guys can still do crazy shit too.
It just gets better. What am?
Laugh out loud, and it's beltless.
Wow.
This is awesome.
What is going on here? He's gonna
Those
fall.
steps from.
I'm mostly jealous of these steps. Like I don't have those
power
so-
stairs.
Are those
Yeah, those-
bleachers?
They look like they're built like just for this.
How's he gonna get him down though?
Rolling.
Boom, 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 boom.
He trains at football stadiums.
I picked up plenty of stones in my yard building walls, and that's a 85 pound stone is not easy to pick up. And maybe if that's what you do, it's not a big deal. But I'm looking at it like, wow.
I think it's definitely creative. I don't know about original because it's definitely part of strongman games, but I think it's a creative, entertaining wise. I find it very entertaining. But strongman's also a very interesting sport. So.
Right, we move on to our next lifter, John Henry Feuerborn. 250 pound body weight. He's going to do an Anderson Zercher squat, 165 pound yoke with 245s, 225s, and a Zach, who is 190 pounds himself, for a total of 495 pounds. John Henry is a medically retired Army sergeant who was told he would never lift heavy again after breaking his back and tearing a shoulder.
Wow.
This freaking dude.
I mean, the injuries itself, he's able to do this.
Oh God.
Wild.
Oh my God.
Well, Zercher squats by themselves are brutal.
Yeah.
Oh, we were just talking about that.
Yeah.
With another human
Creative.
being on top of him.
I like the weighing of the Zach at the end.
He wants to make sure that we all know he's 190.
Oh, I even sold it short, 191. Like starting from the bottom of a Zercher is so much harder than like walking it out and then squatting down with it, with someone standing on your back.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and just the weight proportion. He has someone on his back. He has weight on front. Like,
so far, this is the most impressive weight lifted for me.
We're going to move on to our next lifter, Robert J. Rivera. He's 215 pound body weight. He's going to do a 304.2 pound bag squat. Each of these is 69 kilograms. Robert is 31 with a wife and 3 baby girls. He used to be a performer in theme parks and is now a licensed massage therapist. He was actually brought out to the Olympics this year to work on his athletes.
I appreciate him trying the 3 bags. If he had gone that, I think I would rate this way higher.
So is the 300 pounds, is that the 2 bags or is that the 3 bags?
Each bag is 69 kilograms. So
Okay, so 2 bags.
Okay, so it's 2 bags.
The 3 bags would be 450 then.
He's just laughing out of the bottom, like, like
almost just had. Like,
Yeah, that's 400.
his willingness to take it
Wait, how
there.
much is this in total?
I would give like extra
If
points
it
to
were
it.
the successful one, then he attempted
They would get pretty close to his
You
buddy
got
there.
close to it, right?
How would they
the
fall?
3 bags.
It's like toppled.
Yeah, and he like went
Like
on
he
his
is,
face.
he's pretty wide stance.
Yeah.
Fell
His
forward or
leg.
something.
All right, our next lifter, Samuel Tyler, 130-pound body weight.
Wow.
Bench variation, 45 pounds each side plus 45-pound weight vest.
I like it. I mean, that seems like it looks like he's getting a great workout from that. So
It's definitely very impressive.
Yeah, I think the creativity of like figuring out how to work around and like still be able to train.
And that's actually pretty strong. I mean, 40, even like doing 45 miles dumbbell
Yeah.
for flies is not easy. And that's, holding a plate is not the same as holding a dumbbell.
Incline too.
Yeah,
Yep.
incline.
I think the thing to keep in mind is like how would he train for this, considering it's not like he can do bench presses or push-ups or any of the movements that any of us would do to build our chest or to build strength up here. That in and of itself makes it that much more impressive, I think.
All right, our next lifter. We only got 2 left here. Matthew Hill, 275-pound body weight. We're going to see a 455-pound deadlift for 3 reps. Matthew was diagnosed with a rare and very deadly pediatric bone cancer as a senior in high school. He went through months of chemotherapy and contracted a life-threatening infection that almost took his life. He was told he would never walk again and that he'd never function physically or mentally independent again. 2 weeks later, he took his first steps. 6 years later, he got a doctorate degree. And 10 years later, he's run marathons and is set to be the first amputee to squat over 500 pounds in competition.
I think the weightlifted piece to this is the most impressive part, because coming from a spot where you're like, hey, you're never even be able to do this at all. So coming from 0 to now 455 for 3 makes that piece of it really impressive.
Our final lifter of this category, Ben Galper, 170 pounds body weight. He's going to do an upside down deadlift. According to comments on the post, it was 500 pounds of perceived load. At the age of 15, Ben was on his deathbed, hospitalized for months. He withered away to a mere 100 pounds as doctors struggled to figure out what was wrong. Eventually, he was diagnosed with ulcerative colitis, but he didn't know how to quit. 12 years later, he is climbing at an elite level and holds 15 world records in grip strength. He's also a stuntman. Ben dedicates his life to the little Ben Galper that never quits and hopes to inspire
I
others.
think he won.
How?
Wait.
Well, how much is that?
He's saying it's 500 pounds perceived weight. That's
That
one
one for me.
comments on the internet.
I don't understand how gravity doesn't work here.
Yeah, how's his legs not?
It's a pulley system. There's a counterweight on the bottom. And
Yeah, that's the weights.
Oh, okay, so all right, now I got
Okay,
it.
that makes sense.
That took a little bit.
That's
It's like
creative.
a Jedi mind trick there.
I still don't understand.
Creativity and entertainment, I think that is.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
really high.
yeah, I'm not sure about the math because I mean he's got 135 as a counterweight to what looks like less than 500 pounds.
Yeah, but there's going to be friction on that, going around that pole, I think.
And just to press your feet on a bar, like you don't have your toe or your heel
Yeah,
going
that's-
down,
that's
so that's some more complexity to it. Then
Well, then he puts
lets
his
the
feet
eccentric
over
out
it.
with
Yeah,
going
that's
onto his
great.
toes. Like,
this is super cool.
That was our last lifter of the category. Guys, get your scores in. Please pass your sheet over to the left. And we're gonna need a few minutes to count all the votes. And then when we're ready, we're gonna call up some of you athletes to give the final winners. $10,000 for each category. All right, this is the exciting part where we get to announce the winners. What's at stake for each category is $10,000. This was not easy, as the judges will tell you. We were so impressed with the lifters that we've added an honorable mention for each category. That person is gonna win $500 plus animal subs and merch. Male strongest lifter, honorable mention, winning $500 plus animal subs and merch goes to Liam Zuffaletti.
He was really good.
Okay, now we're gonna go the overall winner of male strongest lift, and I am gonna ask John Hack to come up and announce it.
And the winner of Male Strongest Lift
And the winner of $10,000 goes to Blake LaHue. Very strong deadlifter, very deserving of the award.
All right, what stood out to you guys about our male strongest lifter?
I mean, pound for pound, the lift was wild.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Super impressive.
Yeah, I mean, him being the only, I think he was the only sumo deadlifter for the guys. That was, that held me back a little bit, but he's just so far ahead of everyone else, pound for pound wise, that I could have put him as number one.
With the sumo pull, like it's executed like really great form. He's done 60 competitions, doing this for 15 years, so it's taking notes and taking lessons from Blake. So well done.
Congrats, Blake.
Yeah.
Good job, Blake.
Yeah. Not too bad. All right, we're gonna do the winners of the female strongest lift. I'm gonna do honorable mention. This person is winning $500 plus animal subs and merch. Brianni Terry. Okay, and for the overall winner of female strongest lift, I'm gonna ask Renee Jewett, please come on up.
Right, and the winner of the female strongest lift and $10,000 is Jen Hazard.
All right. So what put Jen over the top? We saw some really impressive lifts by the ladies. So what put her up over the top of everybody else?
That conventional stance. I mean, it was a load of weight over
Yeah.
4 times your, like over 4 times your body weight?
That's right.
Right around.
Yeah.
The pound for pound, definitely.
With that narrow stance, I don't know.
I'd say as
That
a
was
coach, yeah. She hits all of the checkpoints that I would want to correct in anybody, and it's all there. I would just push her numbers and keep her exactly as she is.
And after a 12-hour workday, you gotta give it.
That's the thing. She's not like a professional
No.
lifter. You know what I mean? Like come up 4 times your body weight. You know, rip that off the floor. This is an extracurricular activity.
Well deserved.
And the awards for creative lift category, I'm gonna do the honorable mention. This person's gonna win $500 plus animal subs and merch. And that goes to John Henry Feuerborn. And for the overall winner of creative lift category, I ask Mr. Dan Green to come on up.
All right, I've got the winner of the creative lift category. Here we go. And the winner is Ben Galper.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta give it to the guy. Creative, entertaining. I mean, we were watching this, what, like 50 times over?
Yeah, we watched this.
The most discussed as well.
Oh,
so.
for sure.
Yeah, good production value as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely max score on the creativity for the, I mean, whatever you would call that.
And originality, that was.
Yes, definitely original. I don't know who would have thought of this.
Yeah.
I wonder if it was something that he was doing for like, you know, quite some time. Like, was he doing this in his gym, or did we came out with the challenge for the creative lift, was he like, all right, then he started thinking about it.
Follow him on Instagram and find out.
All right.
So many things could have went like so wrong in this, and it just didn't. So
Maybe that's why I was smiling at the guy who's off
We
camera.
did it.
yeah,
I'm alive.
it's like we didn't die.
That beginning really tripped me out. I didn't realize he was upside down. I just thought his hair was messing.
Yeah, that's right. If you like
shifts
pass
his
out
feet,
while you're lifting, you just fall
But
on
it's
your
for
head.
$10,000. I mean, I don't know what I'd do for $10,000, but that's pretty cool.
It's like watching a Circus Soleil event, but there's a degree of like skepticism that we had. So
Yeah.
It's like, how is this happening? So I like the entertainment value of just the curiosity of what is really even happening with this guy.
Yeah, there's like a mystery to
Does
it.
he warm up for this? Like, did he warm up a bunch, like 5 sets before this to like get to this?
Build up.
We saw a lot of amazing lifters. Just want to give it up for all the entrants. We had hundreds of entries and they all put in amazing effort. So let's give it up for them. Evan, will you give us some final words?
Yeah, that essentially brings us to the end of the Animal Strength Challenge. I want to thank my awesome bro host, Eric Schwartz, and really want to congratulate all the winners. Totally deserved. And I really want to thank everybody who sent in a submission. You know, having been a part of Animal for almost 20 years now, obviously I've gotten to know this brand and been in this industry. I've seen a lot of other brands and the way they operate, and I just want to let everybody know, in case you don't know, this brand has always been about what can we do to support the people in the community, to support people who train, who lift, whether they're pros, whether they're amateurs. What can we do to support your goals and your endeavors? And ultimately, I just want to give my sincere thanks to everybody who sent in a submission, to everybody at Animal, to all the judges here. Thank you guys.
All right.
You know, I've been thinking about this contest for a little while now, and just anticipating what the submissions are going to look like, knowing very well that there's going to be a wide variety of them.
I don't know how many submitted. I think it's a lot of people, I heard. So I'm ready to see like all the videos that the community has sent to us and like us judging them.
I mean, there were a lot of impressive lifts. I saw, you know, some really huge squats that just looked, you know, almost too easy. But they were obviously lots of weight.
There was a one woman who she weighed, I want to say 130, 140 pounds, and she pulled 520. Personally, me knowing what that feels like on the body, that was a huge nod to her, and it's not even a full-time thing she does. It's like a side hobby. And I was like, that was amazing.
Welcome, athletes. I'm Eric. I'm here to be your host for Animal Fitness Trivia. Woo! All right.
Being your best person like means having people around you as well. So at some point, people chasing these things like obsessed, you are a bit selfish about just yourself. But I think when it shifts to where you're seeing those relationships fall off, that's when you think you need to make that call. Like, is that the best version of you? And it might be something else that should take you there, whether it's fatherhood or something else, right?
And I think the thing we all have to keep in mind is we get started in these endeavors because we feel it's going to add to our lives, right? It's going to improve our quality of life somehow. We're going to get enjoyment out of it. And the point at which it becomes where that's not the case, you got to really start to rethink things.